Alright, Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Excuse me, before I begin, just to run through a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, I offer various different readings: telepathic demonic readings, Santa Muerte and Spirit of the Dead readings, Egyptian oracle readings, shadow work readings, which is a great thing to do, especially when you're looking for a sense of direction of what area you should be working on, especially when it comes to your ritual work. Remember, ritual work should always be focused on your needs first before your wants. Deity readings to see what spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons walk with you, not to worship them, but to establish a stronger connection and relationship to those spirits. Or maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation, which is not a reading. Got to make that clear because people get confused sometimes with that. It's just what it is. It's a consultation. You can focus on a particular area of study. As I've said before, a lot of people use it as a full hour session with me, basically to ask whatever questions they want, or maybe you just have a certain area or something going on in your life that you need special focus on, that you want to deal with that. You can use a consultation for any of those things. All right, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. In your email, please include a full weekly availability along with the time zone that you live in. This speeds up the process. It cuts back on the back and forth emails. You know, rather than just you send me an email, I'm interested in this reading. If you know the reading you're interested in, send that along with the days and times you're available, and I will immediately respond back with a time that works with both of our schedules. All right. If you want to sign up for classes, the way to sign up for classes is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, located at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to go to. Tier 3 gives you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, including the group ritual we do together at the end of the month. Also, keep in mind, when you join the Patreon page, you don't just get access to the classes from the day you join moving forward. You also get access to everything in the archives going back 4+ years. That's correct. 4+ years worth of classes and counting. You get access to all of that, the work that's involved in those classes, the ritual work, the group work, all of that you have access to when you join Tier 3. There's a bunch of ongoing series, continual ongoing series that I'm constantly adding new content to. You can go onto my Patreon page, go to the collection section. You will see all of the classes categorized, labeled, and in chronological or numerical order. I'm constantly adding new content. New classes are always being added frequently. So it's something, if you're really looking to take your path of self-mastery to that next level, you have all this content and your tips. Trust me, it's enough to keep you busy for years. And that's not even an exaggeration. And I say with confidence, not arrogance. I don't think anybody's offering what I'm offering and what I am offering it for. Okay? Patreon.com/Baniti. As the Patreon family is growing on Patreon, you guys are really, coming there and supporting the Patreon page, and I appreciate it. But that's where you want to go. Patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. Also, support all the Primordial Chaos social media pages. You can find me on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, all one word on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9. On Facebook, 2 words, Primordial Chaos. And yes, the TikTok page is up and running and in full effect. You can find me on TikTok at Primordial Chaos, okay? And I post on all those platforms the latest happenings, updates, announcement for classes, how you can get involved or be part of the Primordial Chaos family and get in on the classes. All that information, that's the way to keep abreast. That's the way to keep up to par. Also, again, as I keep putting it out there, mark your calendars. October 2024, 3rd or the 4th week in October, we will have the 7th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference here at Cultural Expressions in Hollywood, Florida. As we navigate through this year and get closer to October, which, believe it or not, we're in March, and I know it seems like it's far away, but we'll be saying soon it's time to get ready for the conference. And it's my favorite time of the year, the conference. As I said before, it's like the prelude to all the major holiday season, from what they call Halloween through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. My favorite time of the year, man. Hockey season gets underway. It's just so much going on. But anyway, that's just me and my little personal things that I like. So mark your calendars for that. Also, don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. You can, in the description box, in the link, you will see all, in the description box, got distracted there for a second. In the description box, of this video, you will find the link to the podcast. You will find my contact email address. You will find the links to all the social media pages. The link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. All of those links and contact information is in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. All right, you see the title, the realm of the undead gods. Okay, a lot of stuff has been coming up lately in this area in ritual work. There's a strong aspect of this connected to vampire magic and working with the vampire current. We always talk about archetypes, deities, gods, goddesses, demons, spirits, right? Any of these things that we're labeling, or what we're calling these deities or gods, right? You hear this term, the undead gods. We need to look at this from an esoterical perspective, more from an occult perspective, right? These gods and goddesses that we connect with on this path, they're alive and well. Okay, I want to be clear on this. They're alive and well. We can't look at this from a perspective, quote unquote, as if this is some realm that we cannot connect with, or this is a realm way beyond our spectrum. As I've been saying in some of the recent videos, a few videos back, what we're calling the spiritual realm is all interwoven around you. So when you're studying on this path and you're working with certain archetypes, it could be Lucifer, it could be Lilith, it could be Belial, it could be Sekhmet, it could be Set, etc. We have to understand they're alive and very well, right? When we understand and embrace our immortality, and as I was saying in the previous videos, you have always been here. You have always existed just as they have. One, because you are them and they are you. And I did a video a while back that I think some of that went through right over people's heads. The gods and goddesses live through you. So when we're talking about the realm of the undead gods, let's not look at them as something that has passed beyond our spectrum of being able to connect with it. Okay? When I did that video explaining that the gods and goddesses live through you, because it's how you make contact with them through your subconscious mind. And if we always, and everybody does it, not just on the occult and the left-hand path, and in a lot of so-called systems of consciousness, everybody always talks about what we do, and they always categorize it that, we work with energy. It's the energy we work with. It's the current. Now think about when you're saying that for a quick second. Why I say the undead gods? Because they never die, and neither do you, and you have always existed. Because what? Energy cannot be destroyed, correct? So think about when you're using phrases and terminology like that. Yeah, I'm working with this energy, or this current, this energy this, energy that. Remember, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be manipulated, confirming the fact that it has always existed. It's hard, again, to phantom that, trying to figure that equation out from a three-dimensional perspective. It'll confuse you, okay? But you come to the realization of this through your ritual work and your spiritual work. So this is why I say that realm of the undead gods and this realm that we're in your mind, they have tried to instill in our mind that all of that is just mythology and illusion, because, as I said before, they've done a great job, or have tried and are putting in a lot of work to captivate your mind and control it. And if I can control your mind, your thoughts, and steal your imagination, right? And they make imagination sometimes seem like it's a fairy tale type of thing. It's just a figment of your imagination, right? We've heard that term many times over the years growing. It's just a figment of your imagination. It's not real. Don't let them fool you. If they can implant thoughts and create your reality, because as I said before, imagination, the word, image are all connected, okay? Because when you are tapping into the power of your imagination, you're tapping into the images that you've created via your imagination. So they want to structure your thought pattern. They want to get into the very core of how you think. They want to place their thoughts there. And their thoughts of how they want you to perceive things and see things, right? All of that is part of the control that they've been trying to do, and to some very successfully, I will say, for many years now, long time. Okay? So if they captivate your mind, they steal your soul. Because mind, body, and soul are all connected, but they have to snatch and control the mind first, because then the body will follow. And when the mind and body are captivated, then they try to snatch the very essence of who you are, which at the core of your being, which is your soul. Soul and spirit are two different things. It's not the same thing. Okay? Especially in Egyptian Heka, when you understand the teachings of the Ka, the Ba, the Akh, right? You understand how that's broken down. How you too are a multifaceted being where there's different fragments and components that make up your spirituality and your connection to, quote unquote, the ether world or the astral realms. Okay, they don't want you to know this stuff, because if they can manipulate and control you through spookism, faith, and belief, then it's pretty much easy to get you to do what they want you to do. Okay? So we have to be aware of this. Okay? So it's very important to make sure your mind is strong, it's sound. And why do you think I've been saying so many times over the years in different videos and classes, etc., it's so important to have good visualization skills? Because you need your imagination. All of that is connected. Your imagination, the power of your mind, your visualization skills, meditation. Yes, they're all different components, but they're all connected. Okay? Visualization skills is a very important and necessary tool when you're working this path. A lot of people talk also about creating astral temples and astral altars. Well, that you can't do that effectively if you do not have good visualization skills. And for those of you, if you've dealt with me via a reading or a consultation, or we were just building and that topic comes up, I always say to you, yeah, I mean, I believe everybody should have a functioning astral temple / altar, and a literal physical altar and temple if you're able to and have the space. But you will not have an effective astral temple or altar if you do not have strong visualization, skills and techniques. Okay? So when we talk about that you've always been here, as I've said in previous videos, as we get back to that, that's the immortality part, right? The ancient Egyptians were trying to show that when you talk about eternal life and the representation, or one of the many representations of what the Ankh represents, they also believed that they lived on forever. After they transitioned from this physical realm and started to take their journey in the afterlife, or the spirit realm, for lack of a better word, they knew that this is just the doorway to the next great step in your journey. So that same transition that these gods and goddesses have taken and go through, you're going to go through the same process. Some just don't understand it, and some just don't take the time to look further into it. So as I said, these are people that decide to embrace their mortality and follow man-made things, man-made ways. These are your people that gravitate towards religions, right? Because it's a place of comfort. It's a crutch to lean on. When you succumb to these monotheistic belief systems that are solely based on faith and belief, okay, which is not a good thing because it's very easy to deceive somebody. But these are your people who fall in that category. It's easier for them not to embrace their divinity, believe that they're inferior, believe that there's some spirit or spook force out there that they are inferior to, that they have to serve and worship, and if they follow all the rules and regulations, they'll get some great reward later, or if they don't, they'll get punished. But then on the flip side, you're told you got free will. Ain't that some crazy shit? Okay, you really don't. Not according to religious theology. Your will isn't free. Okay? Because there's consequences to every choice that you make. Okay? So yeah, you're free to make you're free to maybe make the decision in the moment, but there's always some type of consequence you'll have to pay. Okay? So when you don't want to accept and acknowledge the fact of your immortality, that you've always been here, okay, you're going to find out through your work you're an ancient soul, right? This is why sometimes as you start to grow and awake on this path, you start to sense like you've been in this existence before. You start to tap into a part of yourself where things that you couldn't recollect or had forgotten over many years is now returning. You're starting to awake again and tap in and see things that you couldn't see before. But now you're starting to see these things. And it's not that it wasn't always there, but you got so distracted with the bullshit, you just never really paid attention to it or never really saw it. Okay? So when we talk about this concept of the undead gods, more so now in relationship to vampire magic and vampire practices, dealing with the immortal aspect of your soul and living forever, that is a very popular concept and worked with ritualistically through vampire magic. Okay? Because these gods and goddesses that a lot of us like to refer to in our work, they are at that state of immortality, which is that state that you're trying to obtain. Okay? That's your goal, right? And I'm not talking, look, when I say immortality and living forever, I'm not talking about in this physical body or in this physical realm. Because you also start to see as you grow on this path how this place is just not a good place. Right? You start to see how things are changing. You see how the world is changing. And there's a part of you that sees it's not changing for the better. Okay? And this is where the god or the goddess in you starts to emerge and senses it and says, I need to make those changes now. Okay? I need to get my shit together now. And this is why I've been saying the last couple of years, we're out of time, people. Out of time for what? We're out of time. We don't have time to waste and not have our shit together. We need to be ready and prepared for all the changes that's happening right now as we speak in this world and things that are to come in the future. Okay? Look, when you're connected to this current, it's almost in a sense a blessing and a curse when you get insight to some of these things. That's where the responsibility, comes in on this path. Because as I said, when you have real knowledge and you have a very thorough understanding of that knowledge, there's a responsibility that comes along with it, people. Okay? You can't just be reckless anymore. You have to own up to your stuff. Okay? And it's up to you now being aware to bring about the change that is necessary especially in your life, so you can evolve into who you're destined to be. Okay? All of this stuff is critical, and it's important to understand if your goal is to master self. And your immortality and your existence and your having always been here. And when you come to that awakening, see, they don't want you to come to that awakening, because when you start to come to realization of those type of things, this is when you start to pull away from your mortality or your lower self, right? That's their goal, right? Is to get you to become a low vibrational frequency type of being. Because it's very easy to introduce low vibrational frequency subliminally into an individual. Okay? So all of these things, whether some of you might be aware of it, some of you may not know, all of these things are connected. And it's crucial for us to have a higher understanding of these things so we can continue to proceed and navigate through our path successfully. Okay? So, but again, without beating a dead bush, you get the connection now. And the reason why I connected it strongly to the vampire current, because in vampire magic, you work with this concept of immortality, right? And you see it even in vampire folklore. You see it, right? Just even in the whole story of right? There's something called the living vampire, right? And I mean, the gnosis of the living vampire goes, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time. But what I'm trying to get you to see in these last several videos, I don't want you to look at yourself as just some mere, mortal being that does not have any impact, on this world and many other worlds and the existence of them, because you do. It's just their goal is to keep you asleep to the reality of this. And they keep you now, oh shit, man. Ooh, I'll tell you something. Nowadays it's so easy to keep people asleep. It's so easy to keep people distracted with all the bullshit that goes on, throughout the world, and then shit on all these different social media platforms. People are like programmed robots, right? They're up in people's heads big time. So the more they can keep you asleep to the reality of what is going on, you don't look at it like that. So I want to be clear, and I want you to understand, one, you have always been here. Okay? I know you like to think in your mind, well, you were birthed, in a certain year at this time. That was you taking on your physical manifestation. But if you truly believe in your true form, you are energy. Okay? Then you can't use this external body to gauge who and what you really are. Okay? This is just a shell. It's just a vessel. Okay? We have to start understanding and get a clear picture, one, of who we really are, number one, and two, and what this is really all about. Okay? And it's all about you getting back to, quote unquote, that immortal God state. Okay? Anyway, I hope this short tutorial helped you, gave you some assistance and guidance, hopefully. And I'm sure we'll revisit this topic again, or something similar to this topic again at some point. So let's leave that there. And again, if you need to reach out to me, again, don't forget, check out all the social media pages. Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 2 words on Facebook. And yes, we are on TikTok now, Primordial Chaos on TikTok. That's the way to stay up to the latest happenings, classes, and what I got going on here at Primordial Chaos. All right, so that's the best way to stay abreast. Don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast platform, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Okay, check that out. All the new content is uploaded also on the podcast. Don't forget, if you want to also sign up for classes, go to the official Primordial Chaos page, patreon.com/Baniti. Tier 3, that's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to all the classes that I do privately every month. And there's constant new ongoing classes added regularly. All right, so the direct link to the podcast, my contact email address to reach out to me for readings or consultations, the link to the social media pages, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. All those links are in the description box of this video that you are watching right now. That's going to do it for me and wrap this video up. I'll talk to you guys soon. Infernal blessings.